Howdy folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. Welcome back to another NASCAR Diecast review, and today we have a epic 42 car. I have a fun story about this car. It's going to be kind of fun. It could be considered a conspiracy for NASCAR historians. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this Chastain Throwback out of the box. Alrighty folks, right out of the good old box, and as I mentioned, I'll have the fun story at the end of the video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and dive into this paint scheme. First things first, this thing already looks so much better as a diecast. I mean, seeing the real car on television and stuff, it looks great, right? Renders, don't get me wrong. But sometimes when you see a diecast version of that said paint scheme, it looks 10 times better, and this is already becoming one of those. I'm really liking this red on this thing. Very, very sharp. So you got the Chastain logo right there on the front windscreen with the bow tie decals here. Got the you get the McDonald's logo right there. Such a better, much better looking paint scheme than the 2021 McDonald's 42, in my honest opinion. Got the 42 right there. I like the font, but I prefer the Ganassi one. You got the Sunoco decal there. Got a little bit of a chip right there on the bow tie. Got Chip Ganassi Racing there. Very, very cool stuff. Go to the left side of the diecast. Now, the car is pretty plain in terms of just overall logos and whatnot, but that's what it's supposed to be. It's just a straight-up red race car, right? And I believe this is a throwback to Jimmy Spencer. And when he won the Pepsi 400 in either 1994 or 1995, I believe he edged out to, I think it was Ernie Irvin, or whoever drove the 28 car that year. But yeah, I believe he won that race, and I'll have a little bit of a story on that. So you got the signature there, which should be Ross Chastain's signature. Now, this one's a kind of a oopsie here. This is a oopsie. So you can see the contingencies here. They're extremely small, and you can't even read them. There's a gigantic panel here, right? And they only use half of it, so I think that's a template issue. Either the template didn't provide bigger logos or they just simply forgot. So I think that's an oopsie there. You got McDonald's there. Could be wrong with that. Got American Ethanol Clover. Whatever that is right there. McDonald's Racing Team. That's a cool logo. That looks like a turbocharger. That looks cool. You get NASCAR salutes, NASCAR throwback, whatever those contingencies are. Got the Goodyear decal. Heads up choice right there, choosing the yellow Goodyear instead of the white. I think it looks much better with the Goodyear being yellow. Of course, you can pick up this diecast over there at Circle B Diecast, and you can get free shipping with the promo code DIECASTBuffet. Link down below. Make sure to check it out, fellas. Pretty cool looking car here. I will say, though, the back end's a little bit goofy here, but if you truly think about it, they don't really have much to work with. Because if you look at it from this, it looks goofy. But if you look at this, it don't look so bad. The problem is there's no real estate to put that McDonald's logo. This isn't a 1994 Ford Thunderbird we're talking about here. So I'm going to cut some slack with that McDonald's logo there. But this little corner piece, that needs to be fixed. That's a little bit of that's a oopsie there. So ZL1 Camaro 1LE. Got the 42 right there. Black spoiler. Let's go to the right side of this diecast, fellas. Very, very cool stuff. Notice the Darlington throwback wheels. Originally, these cars had a blue line on the wheels, giving it a little bit more of a vintage flair. Obviously, with the tooling, I guess they weren't able to, put it on these cars. You probably could if you had an extremely small brush and some great patience. You probably could detail these wheels. I wouldn't though; it would look sloppy. But for the 124 versions of these cars, I imagine they would have that blue line. This is a really good looking paint scheme, though. I mean, the normal McDonald's car that Chastain got for 2021, it's kind of all over the place. Like it's just giant McDonald's logos. There's no wording or nothing. It looks goofy to me. This is a much more balanced paint scheme. If they would have just took this exact car, changed the font to the normal Ganassi 42, I would have been totally okay with it. I love a good throwback. So you got the 42 right there on the roof. Again, I believe this is a throwback to Jimmy Spencer, and if you've been waiting long enough, I want to go ahead and talk about it here. So, there's a hot rumor, and I can't confirm this, right? I can't confirm this, but this was back in, like I said, 94 or 95. McDonald's was threatening to leave the sport, right? You got Chastain there, nothing on the deck lid. So they were threatening to leave the sport. Think about it. They're one of the biggest companies in the country, right? Well, anyways, they were wanting to leave the sport, and that would be a huge loss of revenue to, the NASCAR sponsors and everyone involved. So there's a rumor that they allowed Jimmy Spencer's car to have a little bit of a extra, so he would be able to win to keep McDonald's in the sport. And that's how they're still in the sport to this day. I can't confirm that, but there's a lot of people who say Jimmy Spencer's Daytona win was not legitimate because his car had a little bit extra because they were determined to make sure McDonald's stay in the sport, even if that means letting Jimmy Spencer win that race. Again, you can do your own research on that, but that's kind of a fun little history lesson for the newer fan out there. They talked about that also on the Dale Jr. download about that. My honest opinion on it, I would not be surprised if they did. Another little fun story here, I'll say. I think it was either 98 or 99 with Jeff Gordon. He was dominating one race, like 8-9 seconds out front, and this was probably 98 when he won 13 races, I believe. And apparently on the radio, they told him, "You're going too fast," that NASCAR told him, because he was just stinking up the show so bad that they told him to just not push the car that much, just back it down a little bit. So those are the kind of the funny stories that come out. But yeah, a little bit of a NASCAR history lesson there, but no doubt about it. Do I think Jimmy Spencer earned that win? Well, I mean, let's be honest here, guys. If you're a NASCAR team, you know, it's not like other sports. NASCAR is a cheating sport. It's not even cheating. It's just modifying parts on a race car, you know. That it's completely two different things, and you say someone's cheating in like UFC or football compared to racing. So, Dale Jr., he's even admitted that, you know, he doesn't want his crew chief to pass inspection with flying colors. He wants a crew chief that's going to fail almost every single time because he knows he's trying. So even if he did have a little bit of extra to help that, I think it was number 27, if I am mistaken, whatever number car it was, win that Daytona Pepsi 400 to keep the sponsor in the sport, which, if you think about it, they went on to sponsor Bill Elliott. They went on to sponsor... what's his face? The Houston dude, and he drove in 2001, 2000, I think. He drove the 94 car, I forget his name. But then, of course, they kind of faded out here and there. They came back with Jay McMurray after he won the Daytona 500, and sure enough, they came back, and now they're sponsoring Bubba Wallace and all of those companies. They did sponsor another driver. Obviously, they sponsored Chastain. They sponsored Kenseth. That's who I'm thinking of. So, yeah, a little bit of a history lesson there. And I believe Bubba Wallace's Talladega win was the first win since that Pepsi 400 victory with good old Jimmy Spencer. So a little bit of a fun history lesson, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. Feel free to comment down below what do y'all think about this diecast. Here is a very, very cool looking paint scheme. One of the best looking throwback diecasts. It really is. The car on track looks good, but the diecast looks great. Have a great one, everybody. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Diecast Buffet, signing off.